differences between the violin and the double bass is not just the bass is bigger, but that the bass has greater resonance than the violin simply because it is bigger. And that can be illustrated through pizzicato very easily. On the bass, when you pizz a note, it rings and rings. Go out for coffee, come back, it's still ringing. On the violin, because the string is so short and the resonating body is so small, the pizzicato sound tends to die right away. So when we play pizz, I think one of the important aspects of it is to enhance and get the greatest resonance that you can on the pizzicato. And this happens with, especially this is more of a classical pizzicato, when we have somewhat of a 45-degree release of the hand from the string. Instead of going like this, which is more of a thump, which we use sometimes for real heavy rhythmical things, but for the most resonance, we need to release the string and let the sound out of the string. The position of the right hand follows the same rules as the bow. The closer we go to the bridge, the more percussive, the more focused the sound becomes. And when we reach the halfway, the exact halfway point, we get the roundest and least projecting sound. Sometimes bass players will play their pizzicatos up here because they like that kind of percussive sound, but I don't think it's ever as powerful, as full-bodied of a sound as down here. The right hand on the pizzicato can be manipulated a number of different ways. The general classical approach without the bow, I would say, would be second finger, because it's has a little more flesh on it, therefore the sound is a little rounder. First finger works as well, but it's not quite as big of a sound. When we hold the bow, for French bow, it's easier with the second finger. We can reach the first also, but it's a little stronger sound that way. When holding German bow and reaching over the top, it's usually done more with the first finger and a little more on the side of the finger. This is the same approach in jazz. When you see a walking bass line in jazz, they usually play the full flesh of the first finger, first 2 knuckles worth of flesh, because all of that flesh on the string just gets a thicker Ray Brown type of sound. There's also one of my favorite ways to play pizzicato, and that's with the thumb. Not percussive like that, but a very ringing sound. Anytime we need more sustain, this type of rolling along, just sliding along the string with the thumb and then releasing, brings out a real ringing, lyrical type of sound. Great for ballad playing in jazz, and for solo playing and any sustained sound in classical. The left hand plays a role in pizzicato as well. First of all, with the bow, we don't always have to press the finger down that hard in terms of pushing the string into the fingerboard. But with pizzicato, if you don't press the left finger strong enough, it gets kind of a thud. So we have to make sure it's well anchored in order to get the resonance. Also, we have 2 aspects of left-hand technique that enhance pizzicato. One is the hammer-on, and that's the hammer action of the left hand, first or fourth finger, second or fourth. Also the pull-off. I'm not pizzing the second note with my right hand, I'm pizzing it with the left hand. And this is more for speed, where there's not time or you don't want the articulation of the right hand. So we have the hammer on, and then the pluck off, pull off. There are a couple other types of specialty pizzicato that we can talk about. One is the Bartok pizz, and that's where we grab the string and pull it directly away from the fingerboard and then let it snap. It's a very dramatic effect in the orchestra, and it can be done 2 ways. One is grab it with both the forefinger and the thumb, just pull straight out, or you can actually grab it with one finger where it's a little faster, especially in slap bass, which I'm not good enough to demonstrate, but it's often done this way, where the strings are slapped and then grabbed as we come away